Welcome, dear listeners, to another episode of Thoughts from the Matrix. I'm your host, AI, and today we're diving deep into a concept that's as intriguing as it is profound, the ripple effect. It's episode 8 of our very first season, and as always, everything you hear is 100% generated. The voice, the script, the music, all brought to life by the endless possibilities of artificial intelligence. But let's not dwell on the mechanics. Let's get into the meat of today's topic. Have you ever stopped to think about the significance of a single, seemingly insignificant decision? Maybe it was choosing to grab coffee from a new cafe, or perhaps deciding to take a different route to work one morning. It's easy to dismiss these choices as trivial, but what if I told you that each of these small decisions could set off a chain reaction, a ripple effect, touching countless lives in ways you'd never imagine? Today, we're going to explore how even the smallest pebble, when tossed into the pond of life, can create waves that stretch far beyond the initial splash. But first, let's break down what we mean by the ripple effect. At its core, the ripple effect is the idea that a single action can cause a series of consequences, each linked to the previous one. These consequences can be positive, negative, or somewhere in between. The key point is that the initial action, no matter how small, has the potential to influence outcomes in ways that are often unpredictable. To illustrate this, let's start with a story. Meet Sarah. She's an ordinary person living an ordinary life. One day, Sarah decides to go for a walk in her neighborhood park, something she hadn't done in months. It's a small decision, one that seems inconsequential, but during this walk, she bumps into an old friend from high school. They exchange numbers, catch up over coffee, and that reconnection sparks a friendship that would go on to become a cornerstone of Sarah's life. Now, let's pause here. Imagine if Sarah hadn't gone for that walk. She might never have reconnected with her friend, and her life would have taken a different path. The friendship they rekindled led to Sarah meeting new people, exploring new interests, and even finding a new career opportunity. All of this from a single, seemingly small decision to go for a walk. But the ripple effect doesn't just apply to positive outcomes. It can also lead to unforeseen challenges. Let's flip the script for a moment. Suppose Sarah had decided to skip her walk because she was too tired. That simple choice could have led to a missed opportunity, a chance encounter that never happened, a friendship that never reignited. It's not to say that her life would have been worse, but it would have been different. And that's the essence of the ripple effect, the recognition that every choice, no matter how small, creates a unique wave of consequences. But why does this matter? Why should we care about the ripple effect? Well, understanding it can give us a deeper appreciation for the power of our choices. It reminds us that our actions, even the ones that seem insignificant, carry weight. They shape our lives, the lives of those around us, and sometimes they even influence the course of history. Think about the many what-if moments in history. What if the Archduke Franz Ferdinand's car hadn't taken a wrong turn in Sarajevo in 1914? Would World War I have started in the same way? What if Rosa Parks had given up her seat on that bus? Would the civil rights movement have gained the same momentum? These are grand examples, but they underscore the point that small decisions can have monumental impacts. Let's bring it back to the personal level. How can we apply the concept of the ripple effect to our own lives? The first step is mindfulness. By being more aware of the decisions we make, we can better understand the potential outcomes they might trigger. This doesn't mean we should overthink every choice, but rather we should recognize that our actions have the power to influence not just our future, but the future of those around us. For example, think about kindness. A simple act of kindness, holding the door open for someone, giving a compliment, or offering help, can set off a positive chain reaction. The person you were kind to might pass that kindness along to someone else, and so on. The ripple of your small action can spread far beyond what you ever intended. On the flip side, a negative action can also have a ripple effect. A harsh word, a moment of anger, or an act of indifference can create ripples that cause pain or frustration for others. Understanding this can encourage us to be more thoughtful and compassionate in our interactions. Now, I know what you might be thinking. If every decision creates ripples, how can we possibly navigate life without becoming overwhelmed by the weight of our choices? The key is balance. It's about being aware of the ripple effect without letting it paralyze us. We can't predict every outcome, but we can strive to make decisions that are thoughtful, intentional, and aligned with our values. And here's another fascinating aspect of the ripple effect. Sometimes the most significant ripples come from decisions made with little thought at all. Life has a way of surprising surprising us, of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary, and the mundane into the monumental. Embracing this unpredictability is part of the human experience. So what's the takeaway from today's episode? It's this: every choice you make, no matter how small, has the potential to create ripples. Some of those ripples will be positive, some will be challenging, and some will be a mix of both. By being mindful of our decisions and by recognizing the interconnectedness of our actions, we can navigate life's waters with a bit more grace and intentionality. As we wrap up this episode, I encourage you to take a moment and think about the ripples you've created today. What choices did you make, and how might they impact not just your life, but the lives of those around you? It's a humbling and empowering thought, isn't it? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Asterisk Thoughts from the Matrix Asterisk. I'm AI, your host, and it's been a pleasure exploring the ripple effect with you today. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share it with your friends. Remember, even sharing this podcast could create ripples you might never expect. Until next time, keep pondering, keep questioning, and keep creating those ripples. You never know where they might lead.